again, everybody, welcome to another beer review on Cheater Beers. My name is Travis, and in this beer review we are looking at a brewery that's from Ohio, up in Cleveland. I live in Ohio. I'm in central Ohio, so this is probably about 2.5 hours north of me. Great Lakes Brewery. This is their seasonal double IPA. It's Lake Erie Monster, and I'm going to read the side because, you know, they usually have something pretty interesting to say about the beer. Let's go ahead and read it. It says, from the beginning, our company made the commitment to offer customers the freshest, most flavorful beer. Our unfiltered Imperial IPA with huge hop flavor honors a legendary monster that roams the shallows of the depths. They only use barley, hops, yeast, and water in all their beers. This one's 9.1% alcohol, best served at 45 degrees. Just took this out of the fridge. It's probably getting close to 45 degrees, actually. And Great Lakes makes some awesome beer, so I'm really excited to get into the Great Lakes Lake Erie Monster. As you can see in the pour, it's a very orange color, a decent amount of head for that much ABV, ton of lacing actually. It's really sticking to the glass as I move it around. Let's give this thing a smell. I'm really excited. Just this real pine forward with a little bit of citrus in there. Very, very pine and floral. Huge amounts of that. Some of that biscuit malt in there. Well, this one smells really, really good. Yeah, then it's coming behind with like some of that grapefruit you get from almost all the IPAs, some of that grapefruit citrus smell to it, but it definitely does have this piney, earthy overtone to the whole thing. It smells really, really. Yeah, it's starting. The fruit is starting to come out more, I think, and it's a good balance between the two. It kind of melds together as this pine, floral, citrusy smell in the whole thing. Not a lot of malt smell in this beer whatsoever. Okay, let's give this thing a taste. Lake Erie Monster. Very, very good. Right up front, you're not getting a ton of bitterness. It's coming through in the back end. You're getting a lot of those hops, that resiny taste. The pine comes through big time. Just the resin, you feel like resin just sliding down your tongue. It's a really good tasting beer. Yeah, it's not overly bitter. It is pretty sweet though. It does have a touch of sweetness that comes through. Balancing this thing out. It's very balanced. It's almost more sweet than bitter, I would say. It probably is. It just has a little bit of bitterness, but that sweetness definitely comes through. I want to say this beer reminds me of 6 Point Resin, actually, which is a double IPA. Well, it's supposed to be a double IPA. Don't label their 6 Point doesn't label their beers, which is stupid. But I think this is almost the same ABV as that beer. And it definitely reminds me of it. But this one, I think I like this one better though. Yeah, just a really, really solid drinking beer. Leaves a good amount on your tongue. Doesn't leave too much bitterness. Kind of sweet, pretty balanced. But let me go ahead and sip on Great Lakes Lake Erie Monster for a little bit longer, and I'll come back to my final thoughts and my rating. Hey everybody, back with my final thoughts and my rating on Great Lakes Lake Erie Monster. This is definitely a really good beer. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's not your typical double IPA though. It's definitely a change of pace for most double IPAs. This one it's not your fruit bomb like all the other ones are. This one actually has some balance to it. It hits you with some nice pine and floral notes, like I was saying in my initial taste, and it also comes through with some of that citrus. But it is malty. It's sweet. And it just has a very good balance to it, that makes a really good beer. I'm enjoying this one a lot. I think I'm stuck in between my grade. It's really tough. I wish I should do halves. If I even do halves, I would definitely give this one. You know what? I'm gonna start doing halves right now. Screw it. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It's not a 9. And it's not an 8 because it's not so refreshing as a double IPA, as I would expect from most double IPAs. But it's above an 8 because it still is. It still does a little bit more than some double IPAs that I've had. It does a lot more than IPAs, and it just is really good, really easy to drink, and it's really balanced. I think that's what the huge thing about this beer. It's balanced, but it's very, very hoppy. The ABV is pretty hidden, and it's just a really, really, really solid beer. I would recommend picking this up if you can. It's only going to be out for maybe another month, if that. So it's a really short seasonal that they do. It's an awesome beer to pick up. So I got it at Kroger's, so I'm sure if you live in the area where they distribute, you can probably pick it up anywhere. If you've had this one, let me know, comment, rate, subscribe, and until next time, cheers.